Hola. Hola, hola. See, I started doing my own songs and humming my own tunes and stuff because I like setting up a little vibe when I'm coming, to hang out with y'all, to do something live. And I love music. But anytime that I play some music on my live, Facebook want to take it down. Facebook want to take it away. So that's why the Most High has equipped me with my own tunes. Let me get my tuner here. And what I'm about to show y'all. Hola, Brooklyn. Hola, Felicia. Hola, Charles. Hola, Don. Hola, AC. Hola, Ranja. So what this is here, this is Freya 13. You guys might have seen videos that I did on this before, but this was done by a shaman and it was sent to me. But this is a tool that anyone can make. You can go to your Home Depot and get yourself some copper, and then you can get stones, whatever stones you feel resonate with you, and you can put them down the pipe and you put it on your chest, and it'll help align your chakras. It will help keeping you grounded. And in the Master Vibe 13 series, I've been talking about aligning your chakras and keeping yourself in balance with your own voice. So the sound of your voice. And this is not about singing and having to be a singer. This is about using your voice as a source for healing, for grounding, for you. So I was gifted, hola Juju, I was gifted, hola Felicia, hola Benny. So I was gifted with a song from my ancestors, Ache, to the ancestors, to help me remember who I am, to help me remember my power. And it has come in a really divine time. I'm going to share the song with you, the mantra with you. I know I have put it up in my page, but, I don't know how many people pay attention to it. But it's more important than just, it's reminding us who we are. And it's important at this time right now. Beautiful darling, is this like Palo Mayo, African Powers, Nicaragua? Sí, estos son de mi antepasado de África, de Yoruba. Y cuando, and what I'm explaining is, Benny, it's sometimes easier when I can say it in, in my native tongue. But what I've been connecting to have been my ancestors, and my ancestors that come in, some people know them as the Yoruban Orishas. These are our ancestors, and these ancestors are really deep in the culture, in my culture of the Taino and the Boricua people in what is now called Puerto Rico, but it's really Borinquen, where the Taínos, the original natives of that land, lived. And so this is a power, this is a word, Ache is a word that is used to evoke the forces of nature. So when you give Ache, when you give your love, and you could do a lot with Ache, because it is an energy, it is a great power, and the intention is what determines the outcome. So if you're using a word of power and your intention is in a low vibrating place, then the outcome is going to be of low vibration. Because either way, you're doing the magic. Because, once it comes out of your mouth and your word and your vessel, you have a responsibility to what it is that you just put out there using your words. So I'm going to share that with you, but I'm going to tell you guys first the reason why it's so important for you to keep your vibration high is because, and we'll go back to this in a minute, but it's important for everybody to keep their vibration high because there's a lot of things that are happening on the planet right now. And, of course, I'm very big on energy. Those of you that know me know how I feel and how I connect to things. But I'm not one that's just looking for stuff just to look for stuff. So this solar eclipse, last year I didn't do anything on the solar eclipse, but this year I had to do something on the solar eclipse because the ancestors have been calling me 2 days ago. When I rose, they were like, research this solar eclipse. This solar eclipse is bringing a magnitude of energy. I mean, I get chills when I talk about it. I can't even begin to tell you the changes and the things that are happening in this time. It's already happening now. And so these things like August 21st is when this solar eclipse is going to happen. But it's not about the time. It is the timeline. Because this is a time after August 21st, what's going to happen is that people are going to recognize that there really truly is no time. Time is linear, and these worlds are like merging and splitting. There is a time split. Wherever it is that you want to exist is where you will exist, and not where you want to exist, but where your energy is vibrating. What you are vibrating, what you are thinking, what you are feeling, you will exist there in an instant. That is where you will be. So you cannot succumb to this fear. If you succumb to the fear that they are wanting to evoke upon the people right now, you will exist in that fear forever. So you want to be able to know that everything here on this planet is a challenge, is part of it. But nobody is ready for the things that are about to happen. There are so many people that are caught up in the media and are caught up in social media and what's happening here on the computer and on your cell phones and things like that, that they're not seeing what's really going on. But there are some messengers and there are some people that are sharing their testimony, that are sharing information, that are making sure that certain people get the information that they need to get so that they can move on to the next evolution of their life, whatever that may be. So the information is out there. There's no excuse for anyone. And once you know what you got to do, you just got to do it. There is no time for dragging on and holding on to things. And this time, August 21st, this solar eclipse, this is the first time that it is happening in this way, linear in a direct line in the United States since 1918. And please research that. Do your own research on the dates, because sometimes I do mess up the dates. Dates don't even matter to me. It's like, it's a timeline. These are the things that are starting to occur. So if you go back and you research solar eclipses and what that is, what that does to the human, what it does to the body, what happens to the planet when these eclipses are happening, you would then recognize the power in this time and how important it is for your vibration to be high and for your energy to be aligned with the divine, so that when this time hits, that you're already where you have to be, so that you could receive the goodness that is coming from this darkness. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to say that again. The goodness that is coming from this darkness. It is going to be a very dark time. It is going to be a time of chaos, which we are quite in it right now already, but it's going to be even more than you can imagine. And I'm not saying this to you to instill any kind of fear, because the fear has to be confronted. And this is your time to do it. And you definitely want to do it before August 21st, because this is just an opportunity for you to purge using the forces of nature and your divine guides, whatever those guides may be in your life, so that you can find the path to your truth and be able to survive this transformation that is happening. And yes, people will transform. Many people will transform. They're transforming right now. And by transformation, I do mean death. It is necessary to have death so that there can be a rebirth. So we're not going to be sensitive about that matter. And it is, if it is your turn to go, as it is many, all of the ancestors that are leaving today, they're going to that other dimension to still continue to assist, because they will remember what they didn't remember here. And that's okay, because that's why we're here, because we're able to work in unison and harmony with these other dimensions that are here for the benefit of humanity, which this is what it's all about. Because everything is shifting. The last shall be first. This is that time. So, but it is important for each individual to do their work, because nobody could do it for you. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you give to a church or to your group or to your charity or whatever. It does not matter how much you give out from outside of yourself that's going to save you. That's not going to happen. It is all within, and every single being has the same opportunity to connect to that source. And when things happen like this solar eclipse that is happening August 21st, even if you can't see it, this doesn't matter if you can see it or if you're witnessing it in your eye. What is happening on the planet, we all feel it. Some people are more sensitive than others, but it affects everything on the planet. So know that you are feeling, and something is manifesting because of that. And you're going to see the residual of that manifestation shortly afterwards. Meaning, after August 21st, whatever it is that is existing in your core, whatever it is that you are most scared of, that is going to appear right before you. You're going to have the opportunity to face that and transform that fear into this powerful force that's going to catapult you to a place that you have never been to before. Or you succumb to the fear and you live it. And you live it over and over again, because what's going to happen is that the energy is going to be so dense that once you fall into the lower vibration of what's happening, it's going to be hard to get out, because it gets denser, it gets thicker, it gets amplified. So the dark is dark and the light is light. And if you're not able to find a balance in between, you're going to get sucked up or sucked down. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't even like to really... Every individual has a perception and an interpretation of life. So when I speak in terms of energy. How that transfers in your own life, that's based upon how you're receiving this information and how it affects you. But what I can say about this eclipse is, once again, that it does affect everyone, and that the only thing that you must do to survive it is to heighten your vibrational frequency. That means that the computer, your cell phone, your digital, whatever it is that you got, you have to start shutting that down. Nothing is more important than your life, okay? And you being able to acclimate in this change, in this new world that is being manifested as we speak. And everybody's not going to make it. It is so funny, because it's like, I know that I sound crazy, but everybody's not going to be in the same place, is what I should say. Because I don't want to project any kind of fear of this death, or everyone is going to exist wherever their frequency commands them to exist. Meaning, you can't fake it no more. You can't pretend that you are something that you are not and exist among those that are that you are portraying to be. Because your own frequency and your truth and what you project is going to be so strong and loud that the science of it, just how it works, it's not going to allow you to exist there. That it's against the laws of physics. You cannot exist in that way. And now it's becoming more and more clear, this distinction. You know, there is no straddling the fence. If you have faith, then you have true faith. You don't have faith in doubt. You don't have faith in being like, well, you know, I'm going to follow, you know, my passion. I'm going to live my dream, but I think I'm going to have to stay with the man for a little while, because, you know, I got to pay these bills. If you believe in the power of yourself, it will always be shown to you. You'll always have what you need. When you show the faith in that, it's always going to happen. And there is no excuse for anyone, because your faith is more powerful than anything that you can imagine. And when you combine that with the knowledge of yourself, then you become an infinitaire, an infinite being that's constantly manifesting and attracting wealth, because you're living in your passion. You know your truth. And this is the world that we are in now. It's not even about saying, oh, that we're going to be in. We're in it right now. So this solar eclipse and what's happening, and there's other people here that are mentioning some of the things that are happening in the planet. So if it pulls on you, you pay attention. If it doesn't, whatever. It's not your time. It's okay. You're going to be existing in another dimension, just as everyone in their own frequency is going to be existing in a frequency where they match that. So it's happening right now. But these things, the more that we become aware of the planet and how it works within us, because we are that, then the easier it is for us to heal and to find ways to heal and to find ways to think in a new paradigm, a whole new way, because the old that is existing is dead. And I don't believe in dead in that way. It is in its own little world and it's going to continue to exist there. You can exist there too, or you can exist wherever it is that you want to exist based upon yourself. So I'm going to cut it short because y'all know that I get to talking and I start going on and on. But see, I wasn't going to make this video. I was not going to make this video, but I was like, for the first time in a very long time, the ancestors are telling me, research this date. And there's a lot of things happening. If you're paying attention, there is a gentleman and he was on here. Check out Benny Wilson. Check out the information that Benny Wilson has to offer, because he has some jewels for those that are ready to receive that kind of information. It has to do with your freedom. It has to do with you knowing your rightful inheritance. And I'm not talking about, get your birth certificate and do this and get this paper and do that. I am talking about the knowing who you are. And once you know who you are, everything else just comes. That's guaranteed. That's really what it is. And everyone has the tools that they need right there wherever they are in their lives. Wherever you are in your life, you got everything that you need right now to get you to that next evolution of what your life is. You got to stop looking at what other people got and thinking that you're supposed to have what they got because you look at it and you like it and it looks good and you want it. You got to figure out what it is that you want. What is it? Because what you're calling in your life, whatever's happening in your life is because that's what you're vibrating. And it's like, this is not about a thing. Oh, but the innocent people in the hood, in the ghetto or whatever, they were born into that. But the one thing that we all have is a soul that is connected to source infinitely. And there is a reason why people are put in the predicaments that they are put in their lives. Everyone has a purpose and a reason why they're here. So we can't really stop and trip off of so on and so forth, and this person, and they're living like this, and I should be living like that. This is really about you right now and the community that you affect in your surroundings, beginning with your body and what's coming out of here. Because what's coming out of here is what's going to determine what's going on out there. So, so with this solar eclipse, I got to get into something that's just a little bit deeper. Ay, pero tengo calor, se pone tan caliente aquí con este pelo. I had to use my mane because it is, what is it? The Lion's Gate is open today, 8/8/2017. Some very powerful energy. I'm not going to talk to you about the Lion's Gate. Look it up and see what it is that means to you. As all of this information that you receive, when you get this information, sit with it and see how it feels to you. It's not because I'm saying it or whoever else is saying it. It has to resonate with you. Now I forgot what I was going to say before I said all that. Can you say fourth dimension? Fourth dimension. Vanda. Hola, Vanda. Awesome. Yes, 1918 is correct. Thank you so much. 100 years. I am ready. Love V. Okay, here's another very important thing. And this is something I'm just going to share my own preference. And I am a master of self. So pretty much everything that I talk about are things that I do by myself. I have a partner, a twin flame, soulmate, whatever it is you want to call it, for 27 years of my life. But I got to tell you that everything that has been done for myself has been through myself. So although it's cute to have these partnerships and to share this love for twin flames and all of this, love we have for one another. This work that we all have to do is by yourself. Don't care how many years y'all been married, what your spouse believes, you got to do the work. Everybody has to do the work, and it's going to come the way that it comes to you. So when it comes to sharing in this energy of one, I'll say meditation. I do not meditate with anyone but myself. Sometimes I do meditate with my family. Of course, that's a completely different thing. But anyone outside of that, not doing that. I'm not going to put myself in the most vulnerable state possible so that someone could direct energy to me, because you don't know what everybody else. If you're meditating group meditations, all these groups, and you got a leader that's leading the meditation and stuff, do you really know what kind of state you're opening yourself up to? Probably not, because if you did, you probably wouldn't do it. So that's definitely something that I teach. So when it comes to these important times, group rituals are fantastic and they're great, but you want to make sure that if you were doing a group ritual with somebody, that you can vouch for the energy of those who you are doing this group ritual with. Do you know how quick we are in our minds, in our thought? You know how fast somebody could send some energy to you when you're open? And most people don't know, because if they did, they probably wouldn't do it. But when it comes to these rituals of this time, my recommendation is to, with yourself and only the ones that you trust, be in this time and do whatever rituals you're going to do to release negative energy, to release negative thought. What happens during this eclipse? Have you guys heard of the Ring of Fire? On the Ring of Fire. Johnny Cash came to me when I was getting this information, and I was like, okay, Ring of Fire, I get it. So the solar eclipse, when the moon covers the sun in that perfect spot, it's only going to happen for like 2 minutes. In this Ring of Fire, there are really dark energies that are coming in, demons, low vibrating ghosts, demonic spirits, entities, all of that, to bring havoc to humanity, to the planet. That's just what they do. They just doing their job. That's what they do. They got like this portal of like 2 to 3 minutes, and they come in and they create damage wherever they can. And it's important that you know wherever they can. And this is just the science of what happened, the metaphysical science of what happens with this energy, and what has been studied for hundreds and thousands of years of what happens in these planetary shifts and these changes. So it's really about us knowing and being prepared for it, not being scared. This is not a time for you to be afraid and scared of it. And let me not say that, because I don't want to, we all get scared. And when it's time for us to get scared, we just have to use that energy and fuel it, transform it so that we could use it as fuel to catapult us up. So don't think of it, don't perceive it as, oh Lord, the devil is going to come and all the devils and demons will come to my house on this day and I got to have all the process. It's not like that. It's a thing where you recognize and have respect for the energy of what it is, but you have to be in your place of yourself, of grounding it, of knowing that you are a direct extension of Most High. You have access to all of this power, low and light, all of it in the like that. You have access to that. So it's not about not knowing the information because what I don't know doesn't hurt me. It's about knowing that, oh, okay, so this is what happens during this time. So it makes sense that, certain things happen in the planet, more fights, more crime, more whatever you want to call it. But what's happening now in the planet is going to be, it's a major shift. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I will take, if you guys have any questions, because I know that I skipped up a lot, and I will share the song with you guys. The way that I keep my vibration high is I do things that I enjoy. I recognize the power of my voice and of your sound, your sound vibration, and I use it all the time. And I don't think that I'm the best singer in the world, but my body receives that nurturing that comes from the energy of my voice. And for a long time, I have been using the energies of my brothers and sisters in my past lifetimes in other cultures, and I was chanting Sanskrit mantras, and Sanskrit are the original language of the planet. So I was one of the ones that I was chanting, a real quick one, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, and that's a mantra that calls Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion, to give compassion to the planet. And so as I was doing those mantras, I kept saying, all right, so what's my mantra? And I was feeling that way because, you know, it's like you guys know I'm a melanated being. I'm a Caribeña. You know, I have this need for the drum and this need for like this like real grinding kind of energy that is like in my soul. And so in my tour of spiritual things and spirituality, you know, what people call spiritual and things like that, I ran across a lot of information and a lot of content, but I kept seeing like all these really high energies, like, you know, to cleanse your chakra, it's all, you know, and all these tunes, and it's like, it was all like Anglo-Saxon people. So I was like, and I mean, I know on the deep root, like where my people are, like if I want to go deep into the culture, I can find that, but I needed something that was going to be like more, you know, it's like, where's my people at, you know? And so I'm asking this as I'm chanting, and then the word Ache came. And who introduced me to the word Ache was actually not introduced me, reintroduced me, was Celia Cruz, and Ache to Celia Cruz. Celia Cruz is an artist from Cuba, and she did Guantanamera, she did a lot of different songs, and she used to practice Santeria before she became really famous and came to the United States. And so these energies, and I'm mentioning this just to say that whatever energies need to come through to have an effect on you and your experience are the ones that are going to come through. Her energy came through for me because as a Latina, I remember, you know, my father, you know, saying Ache. I remember hearing these songs with that word Ache. And I remember that word kind of being a little scary because I didn't really know exactly what it was. And here we go, all of these years later, this word comes back in meditation, and it's coming back, and it came back first with Ache, 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 13, Ache, 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 13, Ache, 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 13. So that came, and I was like, what is this, and why is it coming to me in this fashion? And so the ancestors came, my father came, and told me that this is the sound, because a lot of tribes and a lot of other groups know it as Ase, Ashe. You know, they say it different, but in my culture, and what came to me was the confirmation of Ache, and that Che was very important because it was like that really root. It's not skipping anything. It's very powerful, and you can feel it when you say it. So that's what I received. The number 13 is a number of divine feminine creation, reincarnation, rebirth. It is a very powerful number that has been used all over this planet, hidden in plain sight, basically. But we were made to be fearful of it so that we don't use its power. And so that's why the industry invested so many billions of dollars creating movies like Friday the 13th and not having the number 13 on a floor and stuff like that, because they didn't want us to stumble into the truth of what this symbol is, because what it is a symbol. And so it is defined by its energy, and its energy is proven by its works. And so they just don't want us to know that. So that's what it is. Okay. So then after that came, then the words came. Because in my own journey, in this path that I'm doing of creating what my vision is, you know, came a lot of detachment and a lot of release and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of losing absolutely everything. And so when you lose absolutely everything, including every dollar that you've ever had, it creates a different kind of fear. And it's a fear that calls you to question and answer the question of who you are and what you came here to do. And if you really are who you think you are, then there is no worry and there is no fear, and you're going to move through this just like you have moved through everything in your life. And it's a constant reminder that you have to do. So there is no time for panic and breakdown. It's time for what are you going to do? And because I always chose to bet on myself, the challenges became thicker and thicker. And as the challenges became thicker and more challenging, I continued to pass and evolve through every one of my challenges. But just because I do that, it doesn't mean that the challenges stop. They just go to different levels, and that's what happens. So when I did that song, I thought that it was something that I needed to share with everybody. So I started, documenting it. And then I was here in a meditation and I wrote it down. I can't remember what date it was at this point, but for those of you that don't know, I started my career in the music industry singing. And that's what I knew that I was going to do since I was 8 years old. When I got offered when I had a contract in the professional industry, I learned what that world was. And I soon realized that that was not a world that I was supposed to exist in. So I chose not to accept any recording contracts or not to do anything like that, and not to use my voice unless it was something that was going to be beneficial for me. And so that is, that's what I did. That was when I think I was 17 when I signed that contract, and I'm 46 now. So all these years later, I did some projects, but nothing, I never really, signed my life away in that way. So when this song came, it's been a while. This summer, I've been doing a lot of writing, but this was a song that it's not my song. This is a song that was gifted to me by the ancestors. Yes, I could say I wrote it because when it came to me, I wrote it, but I cannot take credit for this song that has so many. It's a mantra. It's the ancestors' anthem, and there's so much power to it. My focus is to help people align their 13 chakras. You have 13 chakras, energy vortexes in and outside your body. And so with this song, it starts to work on your mind. This mantra starts to work on what it is that you believe, how it is that you see yourself, what it is that you are, which we are energy. We are energy is what we are. The form and the shape that we have is a shell. What we are is energy, and we are able to manipulate that energy and heal ourselves by manipulating this energy by, and I'm not going to get all deep into that, but okay. So with this song, you're able to, when you get through, by the time you get through the end of the song, which is the chanting part of the song, you are calling upon the ancestors to reinforce what you are doing through this process. So I'm going to share it with you. And thank you guys for your love and for your energy. So I took it back to my, to my R&B roots and what I was feeling. And this was what happened on that day. When I feel the sound of music vibrating in me, I take hold of the energy and ride the frequency. My soul makes the melody of my life, so I must sing. Every tune that comes through me brings balance to my being. I have the power to change the direction in me through sound. I have the power to change the vibration in me through my mind. You see, I am creation, I am animation, I am the brightest vibrant star in all of the constellations. I am zip, pep, pizzazz, punch, bounce, moxie, mojo, whatever you call it. Ache, I am. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, 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 13, ache, 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 13, ache, H, 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 13, H, 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 13, H, 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 13, H, H, H. And that is what the ancestors gave me as a mantra to remind me of my power. I am creation. I am animation. That's energy. I am the brightest, vibrant star. Why wouldn't you think that you are the brightest and the most vibrant? Once you recognize that you are a direct extension of Most High, of all that is, there is no reason that you are not that magnificent. But you have to stop believing everything that you believed. You gotta erase everything that you ever thought, everything that you were ever taught. You gotta erase it. And you got to come to the knowing of who you are. So thank you all so much. I'll definitely look at the chat and the things that were said, and I will respond accordingly. I felt your energy. I felt your love. Pass it on. This is a song that will be, I'm going to be sharing it. The ancestors want people to know that this is who you are. You are this energy. And so I'm going to do my part. Everybody does their part. We can get the work done. So, H, 13. Gracias. You guys have a good one. Adios.